Broadway ballroom of the Marriott Marquis Hotel in the heart of Times Square. We're doing a show called SHOWSTOPPERS. The songs that we're using are from Carousel and Cats and Oklahoma and some classic shows. It's showstoppers, one after another, that were originally created with very big string sections. Broadway composers used to have the luxury of having 38 musicians in a pit, and so they wrote violins A, B, C, D, cellos 1 and 2, violas A and B, and so there's a lot of string parts that we don't even hear anymore except original cast albums. There isn't room or budget anymore to hire the size orchestras that were pretty common in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This show wasn't about a space consideration. This was about hearing it the way the composers and orchestrators intended.
It's just the producer's choice about what to add to the show. In this case, let's have a full string section.
Well, we have a live orchestra of 26 players, but some of what we have a lot of reed and brass players, and some of what I needed was huge string arrangements. Well, the first decision was to decide what Notion was going to play. I want to be very sensitive to the fact that we did have a live orchestra, and I wanted to only supplement and augment and not replace anything. So we have 7 live string players and Notion. It was much easier for my team, which is the people at Notion and my assistants orchestrating the project, to be able to put string parts into the computer and be able to manipulate and change that as necessary.
He sent us the cuts, and then he came to rehearsal, and he did the rehearsal just the same way he would normally do the rehearsal, except I was sitting in the back, making the same cuts and making the same changes.
We've only had 5 days of rehearsal for this whole thing, and only 2 days with the orchestra, actually 2 3-hour sessions. So it moves and changes very quickly. This is the dress rehearsal this afternoon, and I expect there'll be a boat full of changes between the dress rehearsal this afternoon and 9:30 tonight when we do the show. It's a tight schedule, and these are really pro musicians, and that's the schedule they work on, and they get it right after that, and we have to match up that. It's just, we've changed it around a lot, especially on Broadway. That's what we do. We're all about change. We're all about speed. Always.
The thing that I'm learning is this is the schedule of this kind of level. It's on the edge, and you know, there are 2 pieces that we, in the actual run-through, just before, or basically during sound check, that we had some problems syncing the score just because of how it was transcribed. And because all the score editing is just there, I mean, I have the whole entire program. I fixed a bar which was in the wrong key.
It's just making sure that Notion is playing the exact same bars, and we've got all the cuts and transpositions.
So did the run-through, something didn't work. We grabbed a part off the violin player's stand and saw what was going on and fixed it. And didn't even have a run-through actually before doing the show for those scores. It just, there we go, fixed it and do the show.
I was wondering whether there was going to be some kind of controversy with using Notion with first-rate Broadway guys, and in fact, they've all been very interested in what the program does, as opposed to, oh, we're going to lose jobs. I haven't heard a peep, and I think I would hear if anybody had a problem with it. I think they understand that we hired 27 live players, which doesn't happen anymore, and are simply supplementing, and wanted to use and are using the software as a choice, not in this case because of space or budget, but it's that it's the musically correct thing to do.